Yo, you taste this trash. You can't watch the sub cause it's way too fast. No crunchy roll cause you got no cash.
You wanna clash, you're gonna lose, so get it through, I'm in the zone. I'm Dr. Stone, that's the truth. Look at the way that I've flown in. Boy, I bet you only watch shonen. It's lollies, you think about bones.
My Sharingan hones in. Shonen ain't up for debate. Gotta show respect to the greats. No hate, no hate. I know that you're acting fake. Dragon Ball was on your
This
face.
nigga
No fake, no
spit.
fake. You bitch ass.
If you've been watching anime for a long ass time like myself, it's common that you go through a binge phase at some point. We're trying to find that spark you got from watching School Days for the first time. During this depressing period of my life, I would scroll through the rom-com category on streaming sites and pick out anything where the art looked half decent. I watched other shows as well, but if you looked at my anime list, you'd start to notice a little bit of a pattern. There's nothing wrong with a grown-ass man that enjoys shoujo, alright? But if it wasn't for that important time in my life, I wouldn't be able to share these great anime that I'm going to talk about. Here's 5 lost anime.
Well, Nishimoto, your report, please.
At 0900, I learned Miss Sasakura is holding an art exhibit. And the model who's going to pose for her paintings better hold on to your seats, men. According to my top secret sources, that model is none other than Itoko Osokabe. And the theme? The female nude in four-man figure.
If you were to ask me what my favourite anime was based on the comedy and the English dub alone, School Rumble would definitely take number 1 any day of the week. This series follows 2 high school students. You have Tenma Skamato and Haruma Kenji. Throw in this lad Kurasuma and you have the perfect recipe for a love triangle. Haruma's in love with Tenma, Tenma's in love with Kurasuma, and Kurasuma's in love with
Curry?
This Disney romantic comedy will have you wanting more after every episode.
At least that's what Skamato says at the start of the episode.
Nah, but this series actually fucking slaps. Even the supporting cast of characters are unique and jokes in their own right. They all have enough depth and focus to make them genuine and likeable. I'll tell you what, I actually can't think of anyone in the series I don't actually like. My favourites being Hanai and Imidori.
Always got that poon on the mind.
The only thing that holds this series back though is that it was cancelled after the 2nd season. However, they did release a 2-part OVA of what the finale would have looked like. Can't say that I was fully satisfied by it, but you know what? School Rumble is about the journey, man. It's about the fucking journey. It's one of those shows that you can come back to whenever you want and just put on a random episode and still have a good time. Jin Kobayashi, the creator of School Rumble, is actually the spitting image of Haruma. Do you know what's weird as well? He fully fucking denies it as well. He denies that there's any resemblance there. What makes this even more true is the fact that Haruma becomes a manga artist in the series partway through it, and he self-inserts himself into his own stories.
Kinda like another manga artist that we know.
Nah, but it's so meta and I love it. Welcome to the NHK is a healthy 25 episode anime that shows us what it's like to be a shut-in in Japan, which is actually more of a common occurrence over there. People who suffer from this illness are known as higekimori.
Pronunciation damage!
This series deals with mature themes such as depression, suicide, addiction, and other general relatable life situations.
If all those weren't relatable enough.
One day, Tatsuro Sato was approached by a young girl called Masaki Nakahara to help deal with his shut-in behaviour and his other bad habits. Each episode shows us the challenges of everyday life and how Sato deals with these situations. It sounds deep as fuck when I put it like that, but there is a lot of comedic moments in this show. Especially if you ain't a bitch-ass snowflake. Yeah, it's dark humour, but can't we agree that's the best type of humour that there is? However, there is one questionable scene where he's just straight up noncing at a school because of his delusions.
He has a lot of delusions.
I mean, they're trying to treat his higekimori or shut-in type behaviour, but are you sure that's not schizophrenia? Are you sure? Because that looks like schizophrenia to me. But yeah, let's take a look at this one. It's very good. It came out around 14 years ago from the point of when I'm recording now, and the art definitely still holds up to this day.
That does it! You are dead, piggy!
Now! Shout it!
Set in the same universe as Sword Art Online with an extra helping of future, Accel World handles the whole gamesekai genre in a really interesting way. But compared to Sword Art Online, does it really excel at what it does? Brainburst is a secret application that can only be transferred once from one person to another. By spending points within this app, you are able to accelerate your brainwaves, which enable you to essentially stop time. However, to get these points, you need to participate in battles using an avatar the game customly creates for you based on your past traumas, which will in turn manifest different abilities for different users. These battles can randomly occur when another burst linker is nearby, creating some interesting scenarios. However, if you lose all your points, the app is deleted from your device permanently, and all your memories of Brainburst are erased from your memory. Jesus Christ. Just when you'd think they'd pattern up the technology after the whole Nerve Gear incident. It's been like 20 years since Sword Art Online in this universe. Overall, the show's got some great moments and some brilliant action scenes, and it's another healthy 25 episodes to watch as well. The animation is class as well with some beautiful Sakuga. And don't even get me started on that soundtrack. Burst the Gravity in the second opening is a fucking godly track. I'm not going to spoil too much, but when this character called Nomi appears is when shit gets real. The show's not complete though, let's move on, fuck's sake. Now, I ain't gonna lie. Initially when I saw this series, it turned me off at first glance. Because there's one thing that I personally hate. Don't judge me for this, but I fucking hate old-timer shit. I just fucking don't like shit in the before time. That's just me, though. I'm ignorant.
The cowboys, the black and white color, the sandy sand dunes of the...
But, I shouldn't judge a book by its cover, because this shit slaps. Apparently this series is heavily based off the 1001 Arabian Nights, using characters such as Aladdin, Alibaba, and Sinbad the Sailor. I just read that from Wiki and I don't have a fucking clue what it is. Anyways, in the show there are these big structures that appeared all over the land, and they're called dungeons, and when you clear them you get a shitload of treasure and a magical djinn that inhabits an item of clothing or a weapon. We follow Aladdin and Alibaba, and eventually Morgana, who is a fucking monster by the way, as they travel around the lands to clear said dungeons so they can gain power, pennies and pussy. Fucking clout chasers. We meet some great characters along the way, especially Sinbad, who I mentioned earlier, who actually gets his own spin-off series from this show, which is actually pretty good to be fair. Unfortunately, we have had no new news of season 3 for this show, which is kind of disappointing because it was really fucking good. This might as well be called Shows That Need Another Season. I swear to God.
Baki's on Netflix!
But you know what isn't on Netflix? Baki the Grappler.
Yeah, I bet you didn't know about those ginger days, huh?
You went there with the Yasha ape. You don't know about them steroids. The original first 2 seasons of this show are nowhere to be found on any streaming sites, and I don't understand why. This show was the dawn of MMA anime. For those of you who don't know what Baki is, it's a mixed martial artist series where the main character Baki Hanma is training to become the strongest man in a martial arts sense. And those who are aiming to achieve this are known as grapplers. In fact, it reminds you this at the start of every episode of this series. There's a lot of fighting, training, steroids, and blood for you action fans to enjoy. I actually remember a few years ago when I saw on YouTube there was this clip of Baki's dad, Yujiro, storming the White House or something like that, and he just took everyone out. And as soon as I saw that, I was sold. I started watching the show when I started going to the gym for a little bit of motivation, and to be honest, it did actually kind of help a little bit. I think just seeing Baki sort of just train to become the strongest and just all the stuff that he sort of went through, it pushed me to do the same when I was just, pushing them weights, boy. What baffled me when I finished this series is that there was no season 3. All I was able to find was this really obscure OVA. But strangely enough, a couple of weeks after I'd watched it, I was scrolling through Anime News Network and it said that Netflix had picked it up for a season. Now, I watched this show in 2017. Baki the Grappler came out in 1996. I can't even make this shit up, it was just pure luck, but I was gassed. But in all seriousness, if you enjoyed Baki on Netflix, take a look at the first 2 seasons. They're quality, absolute quality. And there you have it. Let me know in the comments below if you've seen any of these anime. Also, recommend a couple to me if you want as well. See ya!